All right, how to live after enlightenment. Uh, Funny to make this video right now because I'm a bit pissy because the traffic is insane right now and I'm stuck here in traffic. And I'm not at my most present either. But anyways, let's make this video. Uh, so, you know that story about the guy pushing the rock and somebody asks him like, what does enlightenment feel like? Well, maybe he was carrying a rock and he drops the rock because you let it go, let everything go, right? And then maybe the guy asks him, okay, what do you do after enlightenment? And he picks up the rock and starts going again, right? And this is exactly it. So I don't respect, and I kind of don't buy into the people. I'm a bit uneasy about people who claim enlightenment and then stop living. Like they think they can just be on some mountaintop somewhere and just be gurus and just be, right? And like hold the frequency. And I don't think it's all bad. There's a time and place. There's a space for it, okay? And more so, I think in the olden times, that was more the way to go because enlightenment was maybe so rare, okay? Because I think we're in a stage now where we have collective enlightenment, where these ideas are so easy to come across now, and there are gurus galore online, like legit, I think, legit enlightened people online now, spreading their message in a very accessible, facile way. So for example, even on Instagram, I follow Satya Speaks or Sadhguru, or like I'll find Osho's teachings. I mean, it's all over my feed. So and it's funny that I see celebrities, like social media celebrities, liking these posts. So it's like even they have access. They're cluing into all this. So I think enlightenment now is easier to access for people than ever before, and we're reaching a stage where I think it's collective enlightenment, where together people will more and more fall into enlightenment. Okay, it's more and more easy to get there now. Also, I think it helps us to not think of it in such an esoteric way. Like enlightenment is a choice that everybody can make. I made that choice. Okay. When my dad died, enough things came together that there was enough of a paradigm shift. Because what happens in trauma is like your old worldview cannot handle what happened, and so oftentimes your worldview will get shattered when you encounter traumatic experiences. If I think this is important, if you let the trauma educate you, okay? I made the right decision where before my dad died, I had made the choice to say good after everything bad. Okay, it's funny the timing of how it all happened. So anytime something bad would happen, I would just get in the habit of saying good. And what that does is it turned on my reticular activation system, my RAS, to notice the positives in everything, even the worst situations, and extract the lessons. Okay, so for those of you who cannot let go of any trauma, that is the key to letting go. Is that learn the lesson from the trauma, then your brain doesn't need to remember it anymore. It's funny when I read books that keep rehashing about why we are the way we are, or like why bad things happened, or when I talk to people who are so focused on still trying to understand why the bad things happened, or trying to delve into their past, dig into the past, doing trauma work, like fuck that shit, man. It's useful to an extent, but I just don't resonate with any of that anymore. Like I don't give a shit about my past. I just legit do not give a fuck about my past. I almost never ever think about my past because I've learned the lessons and my brain has been able to let it go. It doesn't see any need to rehash that, to live it through again, or to remember it, because the lessons have been learned, right? And the easiest way to learn the lessons is to see it as a good. Whatever the fuck happened, it was for the good. Okay, you can consciously, explicitly, deliberately say this, that it's good. Sorry, let me just turn left here. What's going on here? So that's one part of this. Okay, so why was I talking about this? I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, so I learned the lessons from my dad's death because because I was saying good to all the bad things. When my dad's death happened, I challenged myself to say good even to that. My dad died, good, and it felt so wrong to say that, and I know, but it helped me take the lessons from that trauma and inform my worldview, and I lost the old paradigm, and I adopted a new paradigm that was way more resilient, that could make sense of the tragedy, could make sense of the trauma, right? So anyways, there's a lot of components to enlightenment. I think it's a choice that we make, that is possible for everyone to make in their life at any point, okay? And then once you learn the lessons, okay, how do you live after that? How do you live after the enlightenment? I believe you push the rock, because and we have to stop making it such an esoteric thing to gain enlightenment. It's not like some mystical experience that just befalls you, and then, I mean, it befell me. I can talk about it in another video. I did go through that divine experience. um I did experience complete zen, uh being removed from my body. I went through all those experiences. It was magnificent, right? um that there will come a time in my life when I deepen my presence more to reconnect with that experience, but I don't see it necessary to live that just yet. I'm very young, and right now I want to push the rock, right? It's like, so coming back to that, what do you do after you gain enlightenment? You go back to carrying the rock, right? Except you can do it now with way more ease, with way more presence, without getting attached. That is the key, right? And we need more people, I think, who are enlightened in action. Okay, so like, enlightened people are the ones who should be the scientists, should be the rulers, should be the workers. Enlightenment is kind of a way to do everything better. It's not that you let go of life and then just go sit on a mountain peak somewhere. uh, and you have to also shed this misunderstanding that enlightenment somehow makes you good at at domain specific knowledge. Okay, because when you push the rock, or when you lift up the rock again, you have to get good at lifting the rock. Enlightenment doesn't give you domain specific knowledge, and that is, I think, a trap, a pitfall that gurus tend to fall into, where they start making these kind of these metaphysical claims that they know science on a higher level or something. Like, no, enlightenment does give you all the right ideas. It gives you all the right answers, like, to an extent. Like, for example, me, I truly believe that now I have all the answers. I don't ever need to go back to books or something to know any more ideas about how to live life. I feel like I have all the answers at this ripe young age of 32. It's amazing. It's magnificent. I have all the answers that I need, right? But that doesn't give me domain specific knowledge. Like, when I go work as a millwright, there's always more to learn. When I'm in my relationship with my girlfriend, there's always more to learn. I can always get better at being a boyfriend. And it's funnily enough that it's easier for me to be a good person with other people, where I can keep up my guard. Like, I can not keep up my guard, but, like, you're ready to be a better person when you're with strangers. But when you're in a close relationship where you've dropped your guard completely, when you're fully there with the other person, and then they get on your nerves, it's easy to kind of trespass on their feelings, or like be less guarded, like, and you end up hurting the other person. There's more of a potential to hurt the other person. And there is an extent to which enlightenment helps you with that, okay? But there's also an extent to which there is some domain specific knowledge there that you get better at by being in a relationship and practicing that, okay? So my whole point with this is that after you've gained the understandings from enlightenment, there is still living to do. And you can and also there. Okay, so let's go back to that idea. So one of the components of enlightenment, beyond just the insights, the understandings, is presence, having heightened presence. And no doubt that heightened presence makes you better at everything you do, makes you better at work, makes you better at relationships, so on. But even that heightened presence, it's not something that you just unlock one day. It is more of a thought habit. All of the components of enlightenment are more like thought habits that you practice again and again to the point that you master them. And I don't claim to have mastered them. So, for example, I stopped meditating for a while, and now I want to get back to it. And when I stopped meditating for a while, my presence started to go away. Okay, I still am in a much better place than before the enlightenment, but presence is something you cultivate and you cultivate and you cultivate through practice, and then over time you master it. And when you've mastered it, then largely throughout life, no matter what happens, you can you can keep the presence, right? So in that sense, I haven't mastered what you would expect of an enlightened person, okay? Because I haven't been practicing deepening my presence, but I know it's there. I know the possibility is there, and for now, I will be doing. I do it in a. I do meditate still, but I want to meditate a bit more. But I'm still not at that point where I want to kind of devote my life or devote substantial amounts of time to deepening presence. That's not where I'm at right now. I'm more engaged in living in the world right now because I'm young, and I want to do things. Right. I want to push that rock. I want to lift that rock. But anyways, that's one component of enlightenment. But then there are other components. For example, the idea that you love life no matter what, that you affirm life no matter what. That is something that I committed to, and I've been practicing for a long time now. That like since my enlightenment, that is one of the components of enlightenment. Um, I'm just speaking from experience. Like I've experienced it, so I think I can talk with authority. I know I can talk with authority that this is what it means to be enlightened. Okay, that is one component, that you love life and you affirm life no matter what, and you see it as a positive. That you're on the, as Sadhguru would say, the profit side of life, just for being alive. That is one of the components. Now that again is a thought habit that over time becomes stronger and stronger as it becomes tested throughout life. When you can commit to that, even through the worst tragedies, then you know even more surely that you can hold that religion, that practice, that devotion of affirming life and treating it as a good, no matter what happens. Over time, that thought habit becomes stronger and stronger. But I think it's important to realize that it is a thought habit. It's not some esoteric divine experience that just befalls you. To an extent, it did befall me, but it's a choice. It's a choice that is within every person's potential of making. Okay, you make that choice. The other component is understanding that nothing you ever do will be sufficient, and so it just eases the burden. So then you can participate in any action, no matter how big and no matter how small. Okay, I'm like I took the wrong road here. Shit, I hope I don't have to. How do I get back on the right route here? This is nuts. This is nuts. I don't want to go all the way to freaking Newest. What? How did I end up here? Okay, I totally took the wrong route. I'm kind of fucked here. I didn't want to make the video about the components of enlightenment or some shit. All I wanted to say is that, I'll make another video on that shit. I've already talked about it. This is most of the stuff, but my point here is just, man, after you gain enlightenment, please just go back to pushing the rock. Go pick up that rock. And enlightenment just makes everything better. It makes it easier because now it's like, because I have all these understandings, the presence and everything, it's like I don't get attached to anything I'm doing. I am as happy being a janitor or something, pushing a broom, as I am doing some other work. Like it really doesn't matter that much anymore, you know? Oh, I really took the wrong route. I'm so fucked over here. This is traffic. That is worse here. Shit. Oh man. Yeah, so in that way it makes it better. You're just content and at peace and at the center of everything you do. And so you get a lot more done because when you're doing something, you're doing that thing. You're not doing anything else. It's like, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Action is action. Movement is movement. Work is work. You're breathing and living and working and moving and doing shit no matter what you do. Even if you're sleeping, shitting, eating, watching Netflix, whatever the fuck you're doing, the breath is coming in and out of you anyways. So you might as well mold it, right? That is kind of the worship. That is the gratitude practice. It's like God is meeting me halfway with every inhale. I'm gonna exhale anyways. I'm gonna do something anyways. So work is work. Action is action. Movement is movement. I'm gonna be doing things anyways. So it's my choice what I want to do, right? So then whether I'm there pushing a broom, whether I'm there taking a shit, whether I'm there reading a book or teaching or running some big organization or making a video, like whatever it is, it really doesn't matter anymore. It really does not matter anymore. I'm just there at the center of everything. And so when you're at the center of everything, you just end up getting so much more done, because now I don't get overwhelmed with how many tasks I take up in my life. Like, at any given point, maybe I'm working, I'm going to school, I'm in a relationship, I'm taking boxing classes, I'm doing cardio, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm practicing guitar, like going to a men's group or socializing. Like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm at the center of it all. So I just add more things to my plate until there's no more room. Like, that's it. I'm gonna be breathing anyways. I'm inhaling and exhaling anyways. So with my exhale, why not just choose what I want to do, right? And so when you're young and you're enlightened, that is not the time to sit on a rock. There is still domain-specific knowledge to be acquired. There's still experiences to be acquired. There's still living to be done. There's still things to do. You can still get better at things. It's just interesting that you go from a moral mode of life to an aesthetic mode of life. Like, you switch. Like, in this state, I no longer give a fuck about morality. It's funny because good people don't do harm. I mean, not good people, like happy people, fulfilled, happy people in a good place. They're not the ones who do the harming. So at this point, it's like, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I don't know. It's like, I'm almost like, I don't want to like jinx myself or some shit, but it's like, my concern, like, when I'm happy, no matter what, I don't covet anything anymore. I don't envy anybody anymore. I have no need to do any bullshit anymore. It's not the happy. It's funny. We we feel it odd that we feel like kind of like dangerous that somebody is willing to just be happy no matter what. We're like, no, you should be a little bit depressed. Like, you should be moral. You should stop yourself from doing things, because if you we don't trust the hedonistic people who are just happy they're gonna like fuck everybody or like rob everybody blind or start killing people. Like, no, that's not the case at all. um yeah so it's kind of, you switch into a more aesthetic mode of life, because and also it's like yeah, I could go so many places with this video, but I think I made my point here. Yeah. Just go back to pushing the rock. Go back to fucking lifting the rock. It's just that you're at the center of it, really. Like, it doesn't matter. It both matters and it doesn't matter. Like, I just keep coming back to, like, work is work. Action is action. Work is work. You're gonna be doing something anyways. Whatever. Fuck it, whatever. Push a broom, make some burgers, run an organization, read a book, teach a book, take a math class, teach a math class. Who gives a fuck? Go to the moon, look at the moon, watch a movie about the moon, see the moon in your pile of shit. Like, create the moon, observe the moon, talk about the moon. Like, who gives a fuck what you're doing? Who gives a fuck what you're doing? You're breathing anyways. You're breathing through it all anyways. None of it is sufficient in the grander scheme of things. It all has value. It's all play. It's all, yeah, man. And it's like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for Omar for hosting me. Like, I am not this. Uh, I was in my dad. I was in my mom. I was in everybody. Everything that led up to this point of being me. It's more like I'm a wave in a trajectory of waves. So I'm grateful to be inhabiting this form right now, and having my play. Like, that's the other thing. It's like, that's the way you show gratitude, right? It's like, the unique things that I get to do as Omar in this lifetime. It's like, might as well do something. Might as well just do shit. Why not? Why the fuck not? Why not push it? Why not see what Omar can do? Why not live the best life as Omar while I'm in this form, right? Like, yeah. Shit.